Tour here at the Jonesboro Open. I'm your host, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, joined by Steve Dodge, our Disc Golf Pro Tour Director. Steve, looking for a great and exciting final day here.
Yeah, rumor has it that maybe Ricky Wysocki is going to card a 12 on the first hole. I've heard that. And that's going to that'll tighten things up very quickly.
And that's the closest drive we've seen in the last 2 days. And Ricky Wysocki puts it into the center of the chains, just a hair high, and somehow it pops right. With authority, Lazat. Lazat hits off the top band, and then it gets up and rolls on him. Collapses.
right, everybody, this is our Silly Pints for our Pro Tour Patreons or patrons. $25 a month gets you a Silly Pint every event we have. Today, this Silly Pint is going to Sam Martinson. Sam, thank you very much for being a Pro Tour patron. Tom Schneider, thank you very much. This Silly Pint's for you. Thank you for supporting the Pro Tour. ShopTom.com. Thank you, Daniel Reynoso. This Silly Pint's for you. Thank you for supporting the Pro Tour. If anybody else wants to support the Pro Tour, go to patreon.com/DGPT. Maybe I'll be thanking you and giving you a Silly Pint. Brian Megason, thank you very much for your support of the Pro Tour. This Silly Pint's for you. Alan Risley, this Silly Pint's for you. Thank you very much for supporting the Pro Tour. And lastly, this Silly Pint's for you, Patrick Yo. Thank you very much for being a DGPT patron. Let's get back to the action.
Hey. Oh, well, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final day here of the 2017 Utah Open presented by Latitude 64. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy here, along with freshly arriving Steve Dodge. And Steve, exciting day in store for us. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking these guys are going to put on a great show. I hope the women put on a great show. We've got an extra little bonus for everybody. It's the first time ever we have commentary on the women's side, so that's a pretty exciting side.
Yes, it does sound very exciting. Who did that? Was that you?
There was a guy in the editing room. He did all the commentary, so we'll have to see if people get sick of my voice.
Well, we know that we've been loving the weather here. Feels like we have a gentle wind that's now arrived. We've got a great leader card in store for us. Can you make any bold predictions?
I absolutely can. At the Jonesboro Open, I predicted Ricky would get a 12 to start the tournament. He did not do that. So the one thing I will say is we have a statistic that says when Ricky's leading after the first round, he wins the tournament. He was tied for the lead after the first round, so we don't actually know if that's going to hold up. But Matt Kruger tells me, for sure he was in the lead, so it should hold up. He's got, I'm sorry to cut you off, he's got 2-3 very strong guys chasing him. Josh Anthon, Jeremy Koling,
Drew Gibson.
and Drew Gibson, who actually took Paul Ulibarri's place just due to a scoring mishap, I suppose. Someone didn't know a disc rolled OB, so his score was one off yesterday. So yeah, but these three guys are going to be charging, and it's going to be fun because today they need to be aggressive. It's all over after this.
It is. Well, Ricky Wysocki has the 3-stroke lead. We're going to get to Rob at the call. Let's sit back and enjoy the Utah Open's Championship Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final round of the 2017 Utah Open, presented by Latitude 64. This is our leader card, currently sitting at 101 strokes, representing Latitude 64 from Fort Mill, South Carolina, Ricky Sucky Bomb Wysocki.
And Rob with the call all weekend. Excited, we've got our lead card ready to go. And yesterday we saw Ricky Wysocki unleash a massive bomb here on the opening hole. Looks like he's done just the same.
Next on the tee, currently sitting at 104 strokes from Rio Linda, California, Josh Anthon.
And Josh Anthon with a turnover shot here, which is fading toward the center of the fairway. It's going to hyzer up, finish left side. He'll have an angle from there. Josh with the hottest round during yesterday's tournament, shooting a 9 under to have him leapfrog right back onto this lead card. It's a lot of fun to see Josh.
Also at 104 strokes from Charlotte, North Carolina, your 2016 Utah Open champion, Big Jeremy Koling.
And last year's champion here at the Utah Open. Looking to recreate a little magic, get back on top. And Pures his drive just as we saw yesterday. He likes it. That is a long drive by Big Germ. I think it's at least past the 310 mark, maybe 320.
Currently sitting at 105 strokes from Fair Oaks, California, sponsored by Dynamic Discs, Drew Gibson.
And you have the treat of seeing Drew Gibson, who also throws a mile. Got plenty of room to work with. And like Big Germ's low and hyzering. We've got women's coverage from the final round. Sit back and enjoy to the sounds of Steve Dodge.
Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody to the final round of the 2017 Utah Open.
And we start this third and final round with Catrina Allen and Jessica Weese tied for the lead. Madison Walker and Amy Bilodeau putting up a battle for third. Catrina and Jessica have had trouble on this starting hole. They both put themselves in good position. This is Madison Walker's second shot. Out goes off left. She is going to have a difficult time on this starting hole. Jessica Weese's second shot will be a very tricky up and over that hole one pin position. Catrina Allen sets herself up nicely on the backside of the slope. She will have a long look at birdie. Amy Bilodeau with a beautiful upshot. She will be saving her par. Jessica Weese parked for her par.
And a nearly perfect approach shot there by Drew Gibson. Next to throw will be Ricky Wysocki lining up a forehand. And that turns over, and Ricky finds a tree that should not have come into play. At best, Ricky's hoping to get up and down and save the par. Josh Anthon, who is a very quick thrower. Our cameramen and spectators will have to be ready for Josh to get up and throw his next shot, as he is a quick mover out here on the course. Forehand approach by Big Germ. And it looks as if it just went in front of the basket. Big Germ may be able to pick up a stroke early here. Ricky Wysocki is not going to be in a good position to run. He's probably close to 100 feet from the pin here.
So an interesting thing, this foursome as a group is averaging very close to 4. It looks like 3 of the 4 have a very good look at birdie. It's day 3, final round. Someone's stepping up to play.
Wysocki may be closer to 80 feet. And he gives it a run. Wysocki is in for the par here on hole 1. Hole 1 sponsor brought to you by Comfort Suites. And very quickly, Big Germ reduces the deficit to 2 strokes here on the first hole. Anthon with the birdie will pick up one on Wysocki. And Gibson also a birdie. 3 birdies and a par. Let's move to hole 2.
If I lay up, I get a personal best. But if I hit the putt, it's a new course record. Welcome back, everyone. We are here on hole number 2, a par 3, measuring in at 369 feet. If I recall, Steve Dodge said this is one of the most dangerous holes yesterday, and barely getting staying inbounds is Josh Anthon. That was just flat out short.
I think the wind kind of caught him by surprise. As he threw, you could feel the wind pick up, push that much shorter. He wanted to be on top of that hill. This hole, these guys, half this group, these have birdied this hole half the time. You know this final round, that's what they're looking for. Josh has set himself up for a very tough birdie look.
Big Germ opts for a forehand, which is fading toward the basket, and that looks to be a really good position. It's rolled a little bit, about 20 feet from the pin. There is OB short and left on the ball golf green. There's a sand trap and water both short, and then you could go past the basket and also find water back there. Very treacherous hole.
I don't know if Ricky Wysocki feels pressure, but Jeremy Koling has come to play.
And believe it or not, a few of these players have to let off slightly here at 369, slightly uphill. They don't want to go all the way past the basket and find the OB water. Gibson rolls to within 15 feet. And Wysocki will also play the hyzer. Seems to be a slight correction from Gibson's. It's coming in nicely.
Wysocki is parked. We're moving on to the women here on hole 2.
Thank you, Terry. And we're on to hole 2. Here are the ladies' drives. Catrina Allen sets herself up nicely. She's got about a 40-foot look for birdie. Jessica Weese plays with some fire and gets the literal thumbs up from the spotter. Madison Walker, who's now 2 strokes behind in the race for third, puts herself in good position for this upshot. Park job. Jessica Weese, very conservative, makes sure she gets the par. Catrina Allen does the same. These 2 women don't want to make any mistakes. Amy Bilodeau for the par, loses 1 stroke and is just 2 strokes ahead of Madison.
You're hired.
Just take that bag off.
You are hired. Josh finds himself approximately 45 feet from the pin, up and over a hill. He can be relatively aggressive. This grass is a little bit longer, and if he goes past this, I'm guessing it won't be by more than a few feet. And off the front of the basket, I was about to say, Josh has some of the best finesse putting. He's not only one of the best in the world, but his putting is on point. Two for two in the birdie category by Big Germ. Gibson inside 12 feet, it looks. He's also going to be taking his second birdie of the round. Wysocki is underneath the basket, and Josh Anthon will be the only one left out of the star frame. 3 birdies in 4 attempts. We're moving on to hole 3.
Disc Golf Center is your #1 choice for discs, accessories, and low prices. With free shipping within the U.S. on all orders over $12, discounts from our customer rewards program, and the ability to pick out the exact weight and color disc you want from our live inventory of over 20,000 options. You'll find exactly what you're looking for. Visit discgolfcenter.com, the world's largest disc golf store.
Check, check, check. Hello, hello. Static. It's the last thing you should get. It's digital. .405 feet on hole number 3. This is a par 3. We've seen our competitors drive past the pin more often than not, and just getting off the green and inbounds is Big Germ. He's done that 3 days now. I'm guessing that's too much hyzer here from Drew Gibson. That's fading left hard. Hits to the left side of the sidewalk and continues to finish left. You need to hang that wider right. He's trying to take the OB out of play. This looks like a good line by Wysocki. It's a matter of getting far enough left. And that does look good, as Steve Dodge says. And it digs near the sand trap and checks. Let's see how the women played hole 3.
Catrina Allen gets in a little trouble off the tee on hole 3. And Jessica Weese plays a very safe drive, short and left. No OB in play. These are the first critical upshots of this round. The women are basically playing for par. They've got to get these upshots close. Catrina Allen succeeds. Jessica Weese leaves herself about a 12-footer. She'd like to be a little closer. Madison Walker's birdie run. We move on. The lead card, women still tied. To the final round. Catrina Allen gets in a little trouble.
Got this. How much time, Johnny? Five seconds is fine. We should have a shot. Steve, we are back. As you mentioned, Big Germ has gone deep of this pin all 3 rounds here. He is safe and not on the green. The greens play as OB, as do the sand traps. Of course, the ponds do as well. If you're playing from a sand trap, you have a 1-stroke penalty assessed. However, you play from that spot versus a green, for instance, you play that as a regular OB situation.
So Jeremy's had this same putt 2 days in a row. And well, we're going to start with Anton, I think. Nope.
No, we're going to start with Jeremy. It seems like there's a little bit of a traffic control out here.
He's had this putt 3 days. This is his 3rd time having this putt. First 2 times he didn't even go for it. And it'll be interesting. He's 2 down. Wants to make a move.
And tickles the left side chain. Wysocki has a very obstructed putt. We're going to see a hyzer. He could barely see the basket as he's outstretched to his right. And he draws metal. It sounded like this tiniest ting of the basket top.
Did you notice the disc he was putting with?
That looked to be some kind of fairway driver or sharp edge driver.
Sharp edge, yeah. Very overstable driver. It was fun watching it dive in.
And Gibson from 55 feet, slight uphill, does not really give it a chance. That was light out of his hand. We see that Josh Anthon, after just about falling back into the sand trap, is left with approximately 20 feet for the birdie. He's looking to pick one up that he lost on the previous hole. And you'll see Anthon rarely misses inside the circle, one of the best in the game. Wysocki will tap in, as will Koling and Gibson. So again, Josh making up the stroke that he gave up to the rest of the card back on hole number 2.
We've got to walk over to hole 4. We'll be back with you in a few moments after a word from our sponsor right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And welcome back to hole number 4, a 453-foot par 3. Josh talked earlier in the weekend about how he does not have the distance many of these top competitors have. He's going to be using full flex shots as he was doing there. I think amazingly enough, Big Germ is actually 2 for 2 in birdieing this hole. And that is I'm going to gently say it, that looks to be a shank here by Big Germ. And he will, in fact, get a mark. It looks like he's crossed land. We'll see if they give him a spot. The spotter's doing just that. And Big Germ not birdieing here on hole 4.
Drew Gibson parred this the first round. He corrected the second round and got the birdie. It'll be interesting to see if he can do that again and close the gap.
That also has plenty of hyzer angle on it. I'm not sure that's going to find inbounds. It does. It's past the basket. The question is, as the spotter's chasing it down, did it fall into the water's edge? And it did. Drew Gibson OB past the basket.
Ricky has parred this twice.
We'll see how hard that finishes. I think he's got this dialed in. It's tracking toward and gets no skip. He'll have a look at birdie from there. We're moving on to see how the women challenged hole 4.
We move on to hole 4, where Catrina Allen's distance probably gives her an advantage over Jessica Weese. She puts that a little far and to the right. Jessica Weese, playing a much more conservative drive, drifts off to the right to keep the water out of play. Jessica's second shot. She just wants to get this close on the very tricky green. Success. 8 feet away for Jessica. Catrina Allen responding. 12 feet away. Let's check out the race for third. Madison Walker's second shot. That could be trouble. Amy Bilodeau making a run. Oh, very nice shot. I think we're going to see a lot of Amy this round. Madison Walker, 4 par. And Catrina Allen, 4 par. The first error goes to Catrina. Jessica Weese with a one-stroke lead.
One of the women's asked to finish.
Yeah, I think so, Steve. Well, we're back. Hope you're enjoying the coverage put together by Steve Dodge earlier today. Great battle. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you and tell you it's a great battle throughout. How about that, Steve?
You are absolutely right on, Terry, and thank you very much for doing all that extra videotaping for us. Is that the term, videotaping?
I think, yeah, just put it in my Beta Max. It works out really well.
So Ricky's up by 2 right now. Everybody's gained 1 stroke on him so far. He's got himself about a 40-foot putt for birdie. Jeremy Koling's got about 90 feet for par, as does Drew Gibson. It looks like Ricky is ready to make a claim right here. First up is Josh Anthon. This is his second throw. If he can put this in.
You think he's running that?
I think Josh is a little smarter than that. But maybe in about 13 holes he will be.
So Big Germ seems to be somewhat contesting as to where he was last in bounds. It looks like he's accepted the lie he was given by the spotter.
As did the rest of the card. There wasn't much contention about it from what I saw.
Long putt by Germ. Plenty of speed and height. Just a little bit on the right side. I mentioned earlier that Drew Gibson has also gone out of bounds. However, he has gone past the basket. So now Drew Gibson is, in fact, trying to clarify where he was last in bounds.
Yeah, we can't tell from over there. If it's upside down, it means it's old.
And Drew will find himself approximately 20 meters from the basket, maybe 19 meters.
Yep.
He can be aggressive with this putt as there's not really any OB behind the basket from the angle he's coming in. And a very aggressive bid at that, up and over the pin. Wysocki, the only player left with a birdie opportunity here. He could pick up at least 1 or 2 on the rest of his card mates. And never giving it a chance. It came out of his hand low. Wysocki was just inside circle 1, sitting at 32 feet. He's going to settle for a par. Big Germ and Drew Gibson looking to both take bogey 4s. There is a very light wind. You cannot probably even see it with the flag blowing on, not blowing on top of the basket, I should say. At most 5 miles an hour, they'll be faced with a light headwind for the next few drives as a disappointed Wysocki taps in. We're moving on to the next hole right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour from Utah.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park.
For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
696 feet, par 4.
Turnover here by Anthon that is continuing to push to the right in this light headwind. Hopefully that looks to be short of the bunker. 2 days ago he had the longest drive in the group on our feature card as the tournament opened on Thursday. A little less conventional route here. Wysocki trying to take the water out of play by going with a big hyzer out over the fence line. OB on the right side. More than enough distance.
Wysocki and Koling have both birdied this once. Anthon and Gibson have both birdied it twice.
And Big Germ going with something we haven't seen yet. This is a roller that stands up, and it is going to finish on the positive side. And the gallery loves Gibson's effort. We're moving on with the women here on hole 5. What?
Beachy's in second, all by himself, just one shot out.
So on to hole 5, Jessica Weese with a one-stroke lead. Looks like she is going to quickly give that stroke back. OB on the drive. Catrina Allen, second shot. She gets everything on it. She'll have about 60 feet to the pin. Let's see how Jessica Weese does on her recovery shot. This is her third shot. She's got about 50 feet to the pin. Amy Bilodeau, a very nice approach. She'll have the easy par. Brings us to Madison Walker, currently 3 strokes back. That is a crush by Madison. Well played. A very easy par for Madison Walker. Jessica Weese, aggressive on her par. Stays inbounds by 4 whiskers. Catrina Allen lays up smartly. She will be in a tie for the lead going into hole 6.
Anthon with a mid-range. And that comes in just short. Trying to keep the water out of play here. We haven't seen too many, or very really any errors by our competitors here in terms of unforced throws. Light winds are probably helping that right now.
I would guess that Ricky would beg to differ, having missed that last circle 1 putt. But overall, these guys are playing pretty clean. The person who's playing really clean is Dana Vici right now from the second card. Through the first 6 holes, he's got all blue on all of them. 6 birdies through 6 holes. Dana Vici is currently in second place, 1 shot behind Ricky.
And as we were talking about that, Steve, Drew Gibson from the lead card and says, "Who?" He's mouthing as to who you were referencing, and yes, it was in fact Dana Vici. A great start out here during his final round. Certainly trying to make a run at it here.
I suspect he was not mouthing Dana, who he was mouthing because he didn't hear which player.
Correct, yes.
Just to clarify. Drew was 2 for 2 on the birdies on this hole. With a drive like that, I can see why. He put himself well inside circle 1. He is looking to move up to get within 3 of Ricky Wysocki. There's Jeremy Koling.
And Koling is wide left. And that does stop. He is safe and short of the water. Not sure what time it is, Steve, but it feels like the sun is the hottest it's been at this exact moment. We're out of course here at Creekside, Mulligan's Creekside course, and hardly a cloud in the sky and plenty of heat here in Utah.
One of the things they say about low humidity is that the sweat just dries right off of you, and that implies that there's a lot of sweat dripping off of me and everybody. One thing I did see the women doing a lot was drying their hands. A lot of rosin bags, a lot of waving of the disc to get the wind going. It's going to be something they have to deal with out here. One other thing I need to say, Anthony Barella on the same card as Dana Vici is also lighting it up. He's currently in 3rd place.
And no problem for Josh Anthon. He takes just an extra stutter step there and a pause before center chain hole 5. That's a birdie for Josh Anthon. Drew Gibson would love to duplicate that effort.
Josh is currently in 2nd place, 1 shot behind Ricky.
And low out of his hand. He's going to only go 2 for 3 here for birdies this weekend on hole 5. Steve, I know we sound kind of smart when we spit out these stats, but really, it's not homework on our part. This is all thanks to UDisc Live, so make sure you're watching UDisc Live along with our live broadcast here. I'd like to thank the crew, Matt and Josh, doing a great job over there at UDisc.
Speaking of Josh Anthon, I wonder if he even saw the water right behind the basket. That was a clutch putt.
He ain't scared. We're moving on to hole 6.
For driving with power or into a headwind, Vibram designed a distance driver with amazing glide and a strong, predictable fade. It is the ideal disc for big arms, forehand drives, and smooth right-to-left finishes. Introducing the Olace from Vibram. Durability, grip, performance.
Josh putting himself on the green easily here with his putter. Finds no more than 10 feet left for birdie.
That's almost as good as Amy Bilodeau did.
Spoiler alert. And Wysocki goes left side with the forehand and just past the pin. 2 very effective shots. Big germ with a forehand. And that's tight. He filters through the trees and is saved by the disc shark wall, we believe. We're not sure if that filtered all the way through. It hit the wall very firmly.
Landed right at the base. We don't know if it trickled through.
And Gibson with an overstable mid also finding himself on. All right, we're moving on to the women, hole 6.
Amy Bilodeau has earned the honors on T6. And my guess is she's keeping them. Beautiful shot by Amy. Catrina Allen, who gained a stroke on the previous hole, keeps the pressure on with an amazing drive on hole 6. Madison Walker trying to stay close to Amy, falls just short of the disc stalker bell. And Jessica Weese feels no pressure. We've got 3 birdies and a bogey. And Madison Walker falls 5 back in the race for 3rd.
You know, the Steve Dodge. Hole 6 plays as the easiest hole according to par. I think we're going to see that remain after all 4 competitors complete.
Jeremy Koling and Ricky Wysocki birdied this all 3 opportunities. Drew and Josh didn't.
And we're going to see a star frame here in a moment after Rick's 8-footer. And I completely jinxed that, some might say. That was in and out for Wysocki. Comes in with a gentler putt for the par. What a turn of events. Everybody's collectively holding their breath. We've got a very short walk to 7. We'll be back with more drama right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Rick's 8-footer. Completely jinxed that, some might say. That was in and out. Rick's 8-footer.
For me, it's time with my friends.
For me, it's a walk in the park. For me, it's my job.
For me, it's fun.
And Josh Anthon, light-hearted and easygoing here on the tee. Held him up just momentarily, and then he stepped up, threw a great tee shot. This hole is 546 feet, the second most difficult hole in relation to par. This is a par 3. Big Germ is heading toward a ball golf green, and the spotters chased it down and gives him the green flag.
Jeremy is clearly starting to play a little aggressive, trying to get that birdie, close the gap, along with a gaggle of other people that are very close to Ricky.
And I'm going to say Drew Gibson, Jeremy Koling, and Ricky Wysocki all have enough power, I believe, to drive this hole. It is open enough that it's a crush. And the gallery, which continues to grow, roars in applause.
What was the distance on this hole, Terry?
546 feet. And I'm not going out on a limb by saying these players can drive this hole if they get over on it. Wysocki's is also heading toward a green. I think that's going to skip up and over it. It's carrying. Does it stop? It's stopping on the green. That's a red flag by Wysocki. The momentum is dying. We're moving on with the women.
On the daunting hole 7, Amy Bilodeau on the tee. Perfectly placed right in the middle of the fairway. Catrina Allen, with her distance and her backhand, has a significant advantage on hole 7. And a great skip. Beautiful shot by Catrina. Jessica Weese. That flick finish is right. It's a little skip and a flare. She's got a much longer approach than Catrina. And Madison Walker puts it a little high and continues to lose ground to Amy. Jessica Weese's second shot. Big distance, right under the pin. Beautiful shot. Catrina Allen to stay tied. Park job.
Oh yeah, you're good. Way good.
Amy Bilodeau from 50.
Steve, as we moved off the tee area, I said the momentum is maybe dying. Maybe the word is just swinging or changing here. Wysocki finds himself OB'd and a few huge crushes by Big Germ and Drew Gibson.
So the interesting thing is that Anton is the person who's one behind Ricky right now. Drew Gibson is 4 back. Jeremy Koling is 2 back. So they're looking to gain 1 or 2 strokes right here, depending if they hit those birdie putts. These are the guys making the move right now. Josh Anthon goes up and down. He will be tied for the lead with Ricky Wysocki.
And Josh Anthon plays a light hyzer to the right side, just a bit deep with his putter. Shouldn't be a problem from there.
Would you happen to see Drew's drive?
I think it is way up near the basket. Oh my goodness. It is less than 20 feet from the pin. Wysocki wants the 3 here and comes up just short. That was more than 100 feet.
I think actually Wysocki just wants to move on. That was a very quick putt. And Jeremy has about 35 feet, also known as 10.1 meters.
Jeremy also just coming up a few feet short of the sand trap, so it's probably better that he did not realize he was that close, stressing out. This is a circle 2 putt for Big Germ for birdie. High and right. Big Germ. Little fist pump. Drew Gibson indicates that his good buddy Josh Anthon is still out.
Josh Anthon with the birdie, or the par, I'm sorry. And Drew Gibson with the birdie, Ricky with the par, or the bogey. Who knows what's happening? All I know is there's a lot of people in my 16 right now.
And the gallery roars in applause, as they should. What a Drew Gibson. We're moving on to hole 8. Big Germ with the honors here on hole number 8, 333 feet. It hits off the front side of the hill, but then carries into the right side bunker. As of the tee shots here, we have 5 players currently tied for first place, 2 of them from this card. I mean 3 of them. It's a good battle.
Basically everybody on this card except for Drew Gibson's tied for the lead. Dana Vici and Anthony Barella on the chase card are also at 16 under.
And with a fatal mistake here, Drew Gibson hits the only tree between him and the basket, then carries into the sand trap. Josh is fading right. Looks like it's carried up and past. He gets a green flag. He'll be looking at an uphill pin-high putt.
With danger all around. This is one of the most protected greens on the course.
Wysocki takes a totally different approach. Wide right hyzer. Comes to the side, and that's going to keep rolling toward OB. We'll see where it's going to roll to. And the spotter chases it down, confirms, green flag. We're moving on. Let's see how the women attacked hole 8.
Catrina Allen on the tree of the very tricky hole 8. Wisely takes the OB out of play. She will have a fairly simple up and down from there. Jessica Weese looked like she was trying the same thing, pulled it a little far to the right, and is just barely in bounds. The putting greens for the ball golf course are OB. A very tricky upshot, which she plays perfectly.
Thank you.
Catrina Allen also secures her par. Let's check out the race for third. Madison Walker, easy 3, and Amy Bilodeau, easy 3. All pars on the tricky hole 8.
Welcome back. We saw a very quick comeback here as we had to get with Drew Gibson throwing his second shot. Drew found himself in the sand trap after hitting the first tree. Ricky Wysocki has rolled to approximately 42 feet. I'll give him 45 uphill with danger behind. And about halfway there, Wysocki knew he had it, just over the edge.
That was a ridiculous roll, and Ricky decided no more.
He wasn't about to get rickrolled, as I think some of the kids would say. Josh is now assessing what's behind the basket from the angle he's coming at it. Just a step or two inside Wysocki's distance. Is a light right to left wind pushing on this putt. And was certainly aggressive coming off the top band. Big Germ is inside the circle. Himself in the sand trap. And Big Germ thought he was low. It was. However, it gets up and over the edge of the rim and in.
So Ricky has reclaimed the lead here on hole 8.
Drew walks away with a bogey 4. Anthon will have to settle for the 3.
And we're almost to the halfway point. Stay tuned, you're watching Live Disc Golf right here with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Hey everyone, it's AJ Risley. I've been on the road for about 5 or 6 weeks now. I'm going to be on the road for another 5 or 6 months for the rest of the year, and I've got another pro tip for you. When you're playing as much golf as I do and as the rest of the touring pros do, you are on your feet for pretty much 5 or 6 days out of the week, so that means that your feet are going to be pretty tired. So what I like to do is I always have a nice pair of flip-flops in the trunk and usually an extra pair of socks to change into right when I get off the course, because I know my dogs are definitely barking. So I want to get into some nice comfy flip-flops, get my feet out of that foot jail, and relax. There you go.
All three of my shots have been inside the circle, and I've been in bounds once. Yep.
Welcome back. We are here on hole number 9. Ricky Wysocki with the long putt is going to take the honors. 819 feet. This is a par 4 with a slightly elevated basket.
Ricky's currently tied with Dana Vici, who is on the chase card and is on fire.
Steve, we've talked about the position where our players want to be on this hole, and not only are they going to throw long shots, but they want to be left rather than right. That seems to be the smart. More angles to attack the basket for the long birdie 3. Big germ flexing out, however, it is finishing left.
Hit the first tree in the fairway and fell to the right. He's going to have a very difficult approach to that elevated basket.
And we keep talking about the flex shots there by Anthon. He's trying to get as much distance as he can, throwing a full turnover. An incredible amount of power and snap we hear from Gibson's drive, which does not stand up at all and just heads left. The women have a long hole, number 9 in front of them. We'll be back in a moment.
And we get to the longest hole on the course. Amy Bilodeau's drive, fading left, just OB. She'll be giving a little back to Madison on hole 9. Catrina Allen, kaboom. Jessica Weese lays it out over the water at Heiser's back, and she gets the green flag. Madison Walker's second shot. It hooks nicely. She will have a nice look at this elevated basket. Jessica Weese with an awkward lie, seemingly playing with fire 2 drives in a row. Very nice drive. She'll have a nice up and down to try to save the par. Catrina Allen, second shot. Let's go back and see where the men are on hole 9.
So Jeremy Koling has birdied this hole twice. He's one shot behind Ricky, and he has a very complicated look at this elevated basket. I'm going to guess he's about 350 feet out. The play is to the left side of the basket to avoid all that danger on the right. Lots of bunkers, lots of potential trouble. He's holding a thumber, Terry. What is he doing exactly?
I think he's just trying to be as pinpoint accurate as possible. And with Big Germ being one of the best sidearmers in the game, I'm honestly quite shocked by that. I'm not sure why he wouldn't take a sidearm hyzer out into the left, let that fade to the right. Obviously he feels like that's more accurate for him to go with the overhand shot, but I'm going to go on record and say I second guess that.
Is there a chance there might be a little, let's get some aggravation out and just throw this thing as hard as I can?
I'm not sure if that's what he was thinking, but I understand not taking the hyzer because that brings the bunkers into play. But you have all the room in the world on that left side. Any kind of forehand hyzer would work just fine. Drew Gibson's going that route, and he will readily admit he doesn't have near the forehand that a Big Germ does. So, again, interesting to see Big Germ opt for that overhand, and Wysocki no more than 10 feet from where Drew Gibson was. Wysocki also known for his forehands. In fact, he said he feels more comfortable throwing a forehand versus a backhand when given the chance.
Wow.
And within 10 feet of the elevated basket, that looks like an easy birdie. Josh Anthon does in fact have a forehand, does not rely on it nearly as much as, say, a Ricky Wysocki or a Big Germ, but looks like he's going to line up the backhand.
He's going to need to pull this left to avoid that bunker. Perfect shot. I'd put him within circle 1. Josh is going to be putting for birdie, as is Ricky. If Ricky does hit that birdie, he'll be in the lead over Dana Vici by 1.
Let's see how the women finished out on 9.
Jessica Weese, third shot. Nestles on the hill. She's got about a 20-footer for par. Catrina Allen lays it at the base of the elevated basket. Amy Bilodeau making a run at bogey, leaves herself about 22 feet. And Madison Walker for par. A great run by Madison. Amy Bilodeau saves the double bogey. Jessica Weese for par. Has this for bogey. Jessica Weese in trouble on hole 9, losing 3 strokes on hole 9. She's now 3 back with 9 to go.
Can we do one camera here?
Welcome back. We are here with Big Germ. Looks to be about 45 feet from the pin. What a putt by Big Germ. He paused and waited for it, and it carried right into the middle of the basket. What a putt.
I'm going to suggest we stop second-guessing Big Germ. The boy can putt, the boy can throw overhands. That was pin high. It was a perfect distance. There's Drew Gibson for birdie as well.
low left for Drew Gibson. He's going to have to settle for a par 4. And I believe he's going to also lose a stroke to the rest of the group. Ricky taps in from just a few feet. Josh Anthon will tap in from less than 10 feet. And Drew will have approximately 10 feet. We're going to do our best to give you some additional coverage from the chase card, where Dana Vici has opened it with 9 birdies in the first 10 holes, trying to win this thing off the second card. We're not going to let him get away from us, along with the rest of the solid play that's taking place. Stay tuned. You're watching live disc golf right here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Are you obsessed with disc golf? If so, this is for you. DiscGolfBoxes.com. Premium hand-picked products shipped to your door every month. It's easy. 1. Pick your box size, the par, birdie, or ace. 2. Choose the brand of disc you would like. 3. Fill out the survey so we know exactly what you like. Go now to DiscGolfBoxes.com and sign up today. Use coupon code DGPT to save 10% on your first box. Go to DiscGolfBoxes.com to get your monthly box of disc golf awesomeness.
Flashlight LED disc golf discs just changed the game. The unique Disco Select feature allows everyone to choose their own color by simply pressing the middle button, then pressing it again during the first rotation of colors when the one you want appears. Or you can leave it in disco mode, rotating through the 6 different colors for the duration of your game. Designed by serious professionals, crafted from Night Eye's unrivaled sure grip material, and featuring Night Eye's patented fiber optics array, these discs strike the perfect balance of durability, stability, performance, and just plain awesomeness. With easily replaceable batteries and an uber-long life, the Flash Flight driver, mid-range, and putter will shine as they blaze your path to victory, day or night. Night Eyes. Discover your solution.
And welcome back, everyone. We have Ricky Wysocki is currently on the tee of hole number 10. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to do our best to give you some of the chase card coverage, where we see Dana Vici is currently on fire. And I believe he's got a share for the lead with Wysocki at the moment.
That's right. Dana Vici and Ricky Wysocki are 18 down. Anthony Barella, who's also on the chase card, is one behind them, as is Josh Anthon and Jeremy Koling. We've got 5 guys all making a charge at this championship.
This hole features a double mandatory, and we are near the basket versus on the tee. Wysocki comes in, hits the mandatory, and then comes in and sticks into this longer grass. Earlier today, in watching the women play here on hole number 10, it seemed as if there was absolutely no skip action whatsoever. Of course, these players don't know that unless they were out here earlier today watching or taking it in. Koling flirts with the tree, gets a kick, comes in, a skip and a roll, end over end. He's inside the circle.
If that had not hit the tree, it wouldn't have turned as much, and he wouldn't have gotten any skip at all. That actually, he probably would have ended up at the exact same spot, because it would have flown just as far.
And on the opening day, we saw Josh Anthon throw a beat putter roller. He's done it again today. This time, not quite the success he had the other day. He looks to be about 11, maybe 12 meters from the basket.
I like the metric used, Terry. Josh Anthon is 2 for 2 on this hole.
I'm guessing he's gone roller all 3 rounds then. And somewhat shocking that Gibson's going with a turnover. It looks to work perfectly. And beautiful shot by Drew Gibson. Let's see how the women did earlier on hole 10.
Catrina Allen leaves it left, just on the right side of the left mando. She will have a look at up and down for the par. Madison Walker puts her beautiful forehand right through the middle. That is some thick grass. There's not a lot of skips near this green, as Jessica Weese demonstrates as well. Catrina Allen's second shot, she just wants to get it close, and it does not skip at all. She's got about 25 for par. Amy Bilodeau lays it up. She and Madison will be carding the par. Jessica Weese, perfectly done for the par. And Catrina Allen is up by 2.
And Josh from 12 meters converts on the birdie.
No doubt the whole way. Even Josh knew it was in the whole way. I think he knew it was in before he putted.
And just over the edge of the basket for Gibson. He's also in for the birdie. Germ is asking for Drew to call it, and what he means is to determine who's out, whether it's Germ or Ricky. Drew says that it's Ricky. And Ricky starting to watch his putts all the way to the bottom of the basket. There's been a number of times on tour we've seen Ricky throw what seems to be a perfect putt, and all too often, meaning any time, they've come back out at him.
It seems like if it's fast and rising, his putt has a chance going out. That one was diving down just a little at the end.
And Koling cleans up for the star frame. We're moving on with the women, or correction, with our sponsors on hole 11.
There's too much excitement between the women.
Yep.
He's right there.
What did you just do?
I'm stamping this misprint.
Yeah, but you triple stamp the double stamp.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
Cannot.
Can too.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't. Eric!
Guys, enough!
You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
And like Jessica Weese, we see a forehand attempt here on the tee. I think that's also a very interesting call. Does not prove to be effective here for Ricky Wysocki this round. Big Germ's also lining up a forehand.
It's a tough shot being a soft forehand like that for these guys. For Jessica, it was a pretty strong forehand, as people will see in a minute.
Big Germ opts for the backhand. That's going to flirt with the right side, and does. It draws metal, the wrong kind of metal. Josh is on the tee ready to go. He's got a mid-range. I believe this is a Champion rock in his hand. And he did not give it enough. It's going to make through past the Mando, and it looks to be a little bit short and left. I was expecting him to hug that fence line a little bit closer. We've seen that earlier in the week. Steve, there is an incredible amount of drama. Oh, and Drews is hung up.
Let's get back to the women's coverage, and we'll bring you more chase card action right here from Utah.
Madison Walker has the box. Tries to get it in between to the right of the Mando tree. It does not make it. She will have an up and down for par. Amy Bilodeau, hoping to get past that pole, does not. She will also have an up and down for par. Jessica Weese rides it to the left. A beautiful forehand Annie. She is 15 feet past the pin. Catrina Allen off the net, hits the telephone pole. She's got a very long shot for birdie, which she wisely lays at the base of the elevated basket. Jessica Weese to pull within one.
Second to throw here will be Wysocki, who's short on the elevated basket.
This is a very unique hole in that everybody on this card has birdied it once and parred it once.
And Gibson taking his time, but coming up short. Josh Anthon will be the lone remaining player. As I mentioned, coming up short. He's a full 3 feet short of the pin. Anthon with the birdie. That's going to keep him tied, or get him now tied with Ricky Wysocki for first place at 19 under par. Interesting to see when Josh Anthon is the only player to take the birdie. And a mine lapse here by Drew Gibson. Barely tickling right side chain. And that looked to be a little bit right as he stared it down. Wysocki still big on his back. Gently taps in. We're moving on. We'll be back in a moment from hole 12 and beyond.
Feet. 348 par 3. As a group of 3 for 8.
Hey, Johnny.
Time.
Anthon hits right side pole.
Anybody who thought those were telephone poles now knows differently.
Wysocki's hung up by the low grass. That was a low release. There is a tailwind here for the players as we're moving down the opposite side of the course. And Big Germ goes with forehand, also a low release. Gibson can redeem himself here with a solid drive. Seems as if the groups hit a small speed bump right now. We've got more action coming as we move down hole 12.
Jessica Weese. Can it find a way through the trees? It does. Pins it. Jessica Weese is on fire. Amy Bilodeau puts it out to the right. If it can bounce off the net, it does. She's got about 35 feet for birdie. Catrina Allen responds. Pin high, 18 feet left. Amy Bilodeau, for her long birdie attempt, she'll card the par, gaining another stroke on Madison Walker. Catrina Allen misses her birdie putt. She will be losing another stroke to Jessica Weese, who's now gained back all 3 strokes in the last 3 holes.
An outstretched forehand shot here by Big Germ that's coming up just a bit short. Again, it feels as if this card has run into a little bit of a speed bump. The momentum has certainly slowed on these last few holes. Wysocki gets the skip off of the sidewalk. Anthon, who is also short, he's lining up a short forehand. That should put him within a few feet. We'll see if Drew can get the stroke back that he gave away previously on hole number 11.
This is a very well-designed hole, I would say. 3 of the 8 players getting birdies over the last two rounds. It's a birdie you want to get, but it is a very difficult shot. Drew Gibson has about 25 feet for the birdie.
And a little redemption here for Drew Gibson. He bogeyed the previous hole, takes the lone birdie here on hole number 12, and with the way things are going, it seems to be a bit shaky. Big Germ's got just what I would consider a tester at this point. Normally you'd consider a 25-footer all day. Everyone's a little bit rattled, though. Shaken but not stirred. Big Germ is in.
Anthony Barella has now birdied 3 of the last 4 holes, and he also has a share of the lead with Josh and Jeremy.
Very long hole number 13 in the last 1/3 of the course right here at the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We'll be back in a moment.
that was a smash by Drew Gibson. If it can get a nice skip, he is going to be looking at a birdie putt here on the 524-foot hole 13. Drew has birdied this 2 days in a row. Here's Josh Anthon throwing that flex, getting as much distance as he can out of that. A very nice flare. He's going to have about 50 feet to the pin. The gallery is building. They can sense a lot of tension here with 4 players at 19 under par. Jeremy Koling just 1 off the pace at 18 under. Ricky puts it way up there, a little high. Yesterday he overdrove the hole. Today he has got the green flag. And he is about 25 feet away for the birdie.
Big germ shot is high and right. And finishing toward the pin. He bogeyed yesterday. Let's see if he improves today.
The very long hole 13, Jessica Weese just plays it safely out there. Good distance. Catrina Allen looking for a big drive on hole 13 to secure an easy up and down. Fades off to the right quite a bit. Potentially a tricky approach to this protected pin. Amy Bilodeau. Oh, that's fading off to the left. Oh, gets a roll. Amy Bilodeau has gone OB on the drive. Madison Walker, second shot, lays it at the base of the pin. She'll be gaining 2 strokes on Amy on hole 13, potentially opening the door for third place. Jessica Weese, 10 feet past, fantastic shot. Catrina Allen, pin high, 10 feet right. Catrina gets the par. Jessica Weese. With 6 holes to go, nerves might be settling in. Jessica's down by 1 with 5 to play.
3 seconds. This is all you, Rick. Welcome back. We are moving down the 524-foot fairway on hole number 13. Steve, what a battle. We currently have 4 people. I've got to catch my breath on this. We have 4 people tied for the lead at 19 under par. 2 of them are here on the lead card. 2 of them are on the second card. That's Dana Vici, along with Anthony Barrera. We haven't seen him much this year, but he's clearly making a statement here during this final round. Josh Anthon has 11 meters for the birdie. And Josh Anthon, with that putt, will momentarily pull into the lead outright at 20 under par.
He is 8 down today. Anthony and Dana are both 10 down today. The best we'd seen over the last 2 rounds was 9 down. Final round Saturday. These guys are heating things up.
Wysocki answers and gets a piece of the lead back. Moves to 20 under par. Drew Gibson has 28 feet. And Matt and Josh from UDisc will have to check me here, but I'm guessing Drew Gibson was the only competitor to card the birdie to all 3 rounds on this 524-foot hole 13. Maybe you have that stat for me, Steve. I'm going out on a limb. I'd put money on it before you even look it up. Drew, the only guy to birdie all 3 rounds here.
I've seen you eat dinner most of the meals here, and I will go out on that limb with you.
complete gaff here by Big Germ. He had less than 20 feet, and I don't know if he just held on to it too long.
He's lucky there's a flag.
He is. Think about that for a moment. We got to move to hole 14.
Oh, sorry. You probably didn't hear any of that. Welcome back, everyone. We are here on hole number 14. Drew Gibson has the honors. He's going to go with a forehand. Oh, I'm not sure if that could be considered a balk or just a fake out. Drew back on the tee at the moment. This is one of the shorter holes out here. I'm guessing there was some kind of spectator distraction or interference that caused him to hold up. And here comes a forehand. That's going to roll down toward the keen wall. However, he finds himself safe.
One thing during the break there, I looked at some stats. How are these guys doing what they're doing right now? Because they are lighting this course up. Josh Anton's forehand, he has 0 OBs.
And I believe he cut through. Oh, correction. As we get into the position, we see that he actually hits the keen wall and saves him. Steve, that was almost the ultimate jinx there.
He has no OBs, and he's 3 for 5 from circle 2.
Also hitting the keen wall. Go out and pick up yourself a pair of Keen shoes today. Great sponsor and supporter of the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
So Ricky Wysocki has lost some strokes this round. He had a 3-stroke lead coming into this. He's just hit 1 of 4 from circle 2, and he's missed 2 putts in circle 1. He's cut his OBs down to just 1 so far this round, but I think those 2 circle 1 putts are the reason we are having a pretty big battle right here.
It's going to need to sit, and it's not going to. Finding the middle of the sand trap is Big Germ. We'll see how the women did earlier on hole 14.
Hole 14. Catrina Allen leads by 1. A very safe shot. She'll have about 40 feet. Jessica Weese with a very aggressive hyzer pins it. Jessica Weese is carding the birdie on hole 14. Amy Bilodeau, currently in 3rd, throws her drive. OB. Madison Walker lays up her 2nd shot. She'll be gaining some more strokes. Catrina Allen, after laying up her 2nd shot, taps in for par. Jessica Weese is going to tap in for birdie. And we are once again tied with 4 holes to play. Here we go.
We have 3 competitors all looking still at birdies here. They have opportunities from inside the circle. Big Germ, however, is a center sand trap. This is to save his par. And not a good effort there by Big Germ. After taking his full 28.5 seconds, Drew Gibson is able to convert. He's going to move in with a birdie here.
And that actually moves him into 6th place. He's got 3 birdies in a row.
Josh is checking the wind. And Josh, again, we keep talking about the putting accuracy that he has, and he's displayed it here throughout this weekend.
He's 100% in circle 1. That's 4 for 6 in circle 2.
Wysocki takes a deep breath, focuses in, and nails the putt. Steve, we're only on hole 14, but can we go ahead and just call it that there's going to be some form of playoff with 2 or 8 different people?
I don't think we can call that just yet, but it is a hell of a battle.
I'm calling a playoff. All right, we're through 14. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Yeah, hang tight on that. We are back here for hole number 15. Just 4 to play, Steve. A few moments ago, I called a playoff. I think we're going to see one. I can't see who's going to be in it, but I'm calling a playoff.
I will go with you on that, and I will agree. There's going to be a playoff.
For first.
For first.
Not for 7th. All right, Drew Gibson's on the tee. Steve, this is a massive par 4 with lots of trouble. Not only can you go OB left, but you could also go OB short or right. And then on the approach shots, you can also still find OB on the right side with this pond. This is a treacherous hole.
Or you could do what Drew Gibson did and putt the disc into the water. That was how Drew got a bogey on this instead of a birdie in the last round. Josh Anthon plays a very safe shot.
Of course, getting the green flag, not trying to bite off too much on this initial drive. And Wysocki also not giving it full power. They're certainly playing for a position here so that they can attack the green during their second shot.
And Ricky's actually 2 for 2 with the bird here, so I think he knows exactly what he's trying to do. There's no wind, very good conditions. My guess is Jeremy's going to attack this.
Big Germ releasing some frustration as it's heading left toward the OB. And we're waiting on an indicator from the spotter, and he gets the red. That's going to make his walk even longer. Let's check in with the women on 15.
Things are heating up with 4 holes to go. Jessica Weese's drive on hole 15. That hyzer's in nicely. She's going to be safe in the fairway. Catrina Allen trying to bite up a lot of the fairway. That hyzer's out more than I think she meant. She gets the green flag. Jessica Weese, second shot. That is a huge effort. She will have a great look at up and down to save the par here on hole 15. Catrina Allen hits a branch on her backswing. Probably doesn't get as much distance as she was hoping. And Amy Bilodeau, who's given up 4 strokes in the chase for third, hangs that way left, probably a little safer than she intended. Madison Walker going for it, potentially sensing she can gain some more ground. A beautiful approach by Madison. Let's get back to the men.
First, that's all. Johnny, how much time? Oh, I see.
So Chad's on Dana's putt.
No, looking at it. Did Johnny lose the call from us, is my guess? No, in July? Big Germ has confirmed he is OB. He'll be moving to the drop zone. Steve, hole 15 has proved to be very problematic for a number of our competitors, and if that is OB, that will be ending Big Germ's run at a title here at the Utah Open.
Yeah, he missed a couple of putts in the last couple of holes, and then the OB, and then the OB. I think we're down to a 3-man race here. Josh Anthon, Ricky Wysocki, 21 down. Dana Beachy, 20 down. He carded the par on hole 16. Sure, he was looking for the birdie, but threw it just a little too far into the bunker.
Big Germ, your current champion here, trying to defend that title. However, as I said, I'm not sure there's going to be enough holes or room to make up. interesting play by Josh Anthon, wanting to take all of the water out of play. He goes with a high turnover shot. And really from there, unless he makes a very long putt, he's going to have to settle for the par 4. I think that was actually a little bit conservative on Josh's part, and I'm going to say color me shocked. Well, besides the sunburn, color me shocked.
If he goes OB on that and Ricky parks it, this is over. He's going to be 2 down, 3 to go, and Ricky would just put the pedal to the metal. He didn't want that. He didn't want it to be over yet.
Wysocki with a low forehand, also keeping it very wide, hoping to play it toward the pin, and it's done just that. Steve, we're pushing low 90s, low humidity, incredible amount of sun this weekend, and a very hot battle. They're also watching the women. Jessica Weese and Catrina Allen have been exchanging stroke for stroke, and it's far from over on the women's side right now.
That is the absolute truth. As far as I know, they are tied right now, and they've got 3 holes to go, and there's battles on both sides. We might have 2 playoffs.
And Gibson has a very good approach right near the pin. Let's check back in with the women on hole 15.
Catrina Allen's 3rd shot. She just wants to go up and down, maybe put a little pressure on Jessica. A perfect approach. Jessica's 3rd shot. A great answer. Let's check out the race for 3rd real quick. Madison Walker's 3rd shot. She pins it. And Amy Bilodeau, who went OB, this is her 4th shot, and she's left with this to save bogey. She's lost 4 strokes in the last 2 holes. Can she stop the bleeding? Yes. Down to 2 in the race for 3rd.
Josh trying to see exactly how much real estate he has behind the basket. I'm thinking he's going to give this a very aggressive run. He looks to be just about at circle 2's edge, right around 66 feet. And that sits down just a few feet past the pin, certainly running at it. Wysocki, however, is less than 18 feet from the pin. And at this rate, it looks like Wysocki may take the 1-stroke advantage by the time hole 15 is done.
It does look that way. And he'll be 1 stroke over Josh, 2 strokes over Dana. One interesting thing, hole 17 might be critical this round. Ricky Wysocki's gone OB both days so far. It's going to be interesting to see in front of Josh.
And Big Germ's just looking to close out this round at this point. As we said, not really in the hunt with just 3 holes to play. Little bit softer putt out of Wysocki. He wants nothing spitting back out at him. Gibson also left with 18 feet.
Drew Gibson and Jeremy Koling just changed positions. As a matter of fact, Drew is now going to be 1 ahead of him, assuming he gets this birdie. He'll be 17 down, Jeremy Koling 16 down in the battle for 5th.
And going with his short putt stance. A moment ago, Drew Gibson said I may be his bad luck putting charm. I don't think that's an honor or a title I want, but that's what he said as we were walking through 15. He's struggled here. He taps it on 15. Let's see if we finish up. Just 3 to go.
obsessed with disc golf? If so, this is for you. DiscGolfBoxes.com. Premium hand-picked products shipped to your door every month. It's easy. 1. Pick your box size, the par, birdie, or ace. 2. Choose a brand of disc you would like. 3. Fill out the survey so we know exactly what you like. Go now to DiscGolfBoxes.com and sign up today. Use coupon code DGPT to save 10% on your first box. Go to DiscGolfBoxes.com to get your monthly box of disc golf awesomeness.
Big Germ taking scores here. Letting Ricky and the rest of the group know we are ready to go. With a forehand lined up, 408 foot 3, third most difficult hole on the course. Wysocki's going for the play of coming up short of the sand trap, and it does not do that. The spotter's going to confirm from here. Ricky. Wow, the spotter's giving him the safe sign. Again, Ricky and the rest of us back on the tee cannot see exactly where it landed. It must be a very close call.
Ricky probably at least getting a look at birdie. This is a critical shot.
Anthon is high and right. Let's see if he gets past the sand trap. He's done just that. The front side sand trap, he also gets a green flag. That will be a death putt if he decides to run at that with the slope and the angle. And Drew Gibson possibly ready to let out a little bit of aggression after that short missed putt on the previous hole. He goes up and over the hillside that we can see. He gets the green flag. Big Germ carded the bogey 5 on the previous hole. And that is low and turned over, not the angle he was hoping for. Let's see how the women attack hole 16.
Hole 16, 3 holes to go, all knotted up. Jessica Weese with a very safe drive. She will have about 90 feet up and down for the par. Catrina Allen, a very aggressive shot. She's going for the birdie if she stays in bounds. And she does. Catrina Allen may have a look at birdie. Madison Walker running for the birdie, trying to close in on second, just misses. Madison Walker, if Amy can go up and down, will stay 2 down with 2 to play. Jessica Weese just needs to get under the pin. Maybe lucky she missed the pin itself on that shot. Catrina Allen for birdie. She lays it up. An interesting choice by Catrina. We are all tied with 2 to go.
Big Germ will be first to approach. A very long, lunging forward attempt here by Big Germ. And we're going to take a closer look here at Wysocki's again, taking a look at Ricky Wysocki's drive on the front side of the sand trap.
Oh my God.
clumps.
Yeah, this is pretty live grass right here.
I was in the bunker that day on that hole and touched a piece of grass.
But it was, I mean, I'm talking, this is the line. There was not like a piece of grass right in the middle of the bunker. This is like defining the line.
That's an actual clump. There's no way I can definitively say that's
Yeah,
out
no,
of
I
bounds.
can't say it's out of bounds.
But this should be line, and will be in the future.
And it looks like the group's going with he is inbounds, saying that they cannot definitively call that out.
If Ricky had shorter feet, his whole foot could be out of bounds while his disc is inbounds. It's an interesting little stat.
Skilo once said, I wish I was a little bit taller, Steve.
So Ricky's got about a 45-foot putt. He's 1 for 4 in circle 2. I don't know if Josh Anthon, he looks like he's right on the outer edge.
And there is some loud applause and roaring over on hole 18 as the second cart is clearing off of the green. As I mentioned earlier, Josh Anthon has a very, very challenging putt ahead of him. I know he's very aggressive, and I know he's incredibly accurate. He's got touch like none other. This is not a good putt to run.
And he doesn't. And Dana Vici just hit a huge circle 2 putt. He's now 21 under par, just 1 shot behind Ricky.
Dana, congratulations on a very solid performance out here today.
Around yesterday, 3 strokes, shooting 12.
I'm going to go ahead and unofficially announce that as a 1,212 rate. That's unofficial, of course. Drew Gibson hits the front of the basket. It rolls and then sits down. And a fist bump by Wysocki. He's going to momentarily pull out in front alone here on the lead.
He's now ahead by 2 over Josh Anthon and Dana Vici, who's sitting in the clubhouse.
And Big Germ is in for the 3 on hole 16, although he was second-guessing his form for a moment. Great battle going on with the women, and a word from our sponsors. We'll be back on 17 in just a few moments. And welcome back. We are here on hole number 17. Ricky Wysocki with the lead and the tee.
Ricky is averaging a 3.5. He got a 3 and a 4 here. Josh is averaging a 2.5, getting a birdie and a par. He's down by 2. He needs to make one up right here.
Ricky's forehand is wide left, trying to play that back toward the pin.
He gets a green flag. He's in bounds. And Josh Anthon throwing a mid-range here. It's turning over to the right side. He gets a green flag. He's going to be a little bit short, but he's throwing mid-range off the tee here on this 375-foot hole.
A mid-range is going to sit, give you no chance at the flare, skip, or roll into the water. Josh needs to hit that putt.
And Drew with plenty of power, however, that looks to be a misfire on the right side, and we see a splashdown. That is OB for Drew Gibson. Big Germ says, I just can't believe it. He knows that he's flared out to the right, and he gets the red flag. We've got a great women's battle taking place here on 17.
Hole 17, Jessica Weese on the tee. OB passed. An amazing drive by Jessica Weese. She is just at the edge of circle one. Catrina Allen. Oh, Catrina Allen is in some trouble here on hole 17. Here is Catrina's second shot. She needs to go up and down just to have a chance at staying tied. And that is a huge shot by Catrina Allen. Just inside circle one. Amy Bilodeau's second shot under the pin. She secures herself third place. And here's Jessica Weese for birdie to take the lead. So that leaves Catrina Allen with this to maintain a tie going into hole 18.
So something interesting that's happening here. Drew Gibson and Jeremy Koling are both kind of falling apart these last few holes. Austin Turner and Anthony Barella turned in -10 and -8 respectively, and are one shot ahead of these two guys for fourth place. Here's Drew Gibson trying to save his par to stay one shot behind Austin and Anthony, that is.
And Drew started to run it down. He thought he had the save here on 17. Big Germ looks to be about 2 meters outside of the circle one indicator. Momentarily, would like to send, again, good vibes and positive thoughts to Jeremy Koling's doubles partner, Paige Pierce. She's at home watching. Thanks for watching, Paige. We wish you the best for you and your family. And a Big Germ conversion here for saving the par. And can we all but call this if Ricky converts?
Well, one thing I'm going to say is that Jeremy's one shot behind for fourth. He needs the birdie on the next hole to get fourth place.
And we just mentioned that Josh Anthon had thrown a mid-range here at 375 feet. He is approximately 32 feet short of the pin. Ricky Wysocki, a step outside of circle one. He's looking at 34 feet with water behind him. And it flops in. Anthon's going to have to keep the pressure on here, on Ricky by converting here. And another convert. I can't help but chuckle after seeing the amazing putting performance put on here today. Josh Anthon cleans up the birdie on hole 17. And Drew will be tapping in. Some exciting action here on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Let's move to hole 18.
Sun King Discs, established in 2001. Florida's most respected name in disc sports. Official retail merchandiser of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Currently on tour supporting Discraft and DGA live inventory, free shipping at $12. All orders $19.99, ships in a box, includes single discs, large selection of both stock and collectibles. Check out the website at www.sunkingdiscs.com.
.207 feet. If he puts this anywhere safe, we can call it Ricky! Ricky Wysocki! Ricky, Big Germ is here. Ricky Wysocki. Josh Anthon is beside himself. That is going to end it. Ricky Wysocki. I think we can call that the walk-off ace by Wysocki. Josh Anthon wants to get back to business.
Terry, sometimes stats don't matter.
Sometimes there's only so much you can do. Josh Anthon stays in bounds. However, it will not be enough. What a battle.
Ricky just needed to land it in, and he did.
Big Germ with a good... And we all know Big Germ is just here to give everyone else the ace. Drew Gibson with a backhand, just trying to get in bounds. That's very nicely played. Let's see how the women played hole 18.
It comes down to this. Hole 18. Jessica Weese, Catrina Allen, both tied. Jessica lays that a little to the right. Will it highs her in? It does not. Jessica Weese has thrown OB on hole 18. If Catrina Allen gets this on the green, she has basically won the Utah Open presented by Latitude 64. She hangs that way left, gets a crazy skip. Is that in bounds? It is not. Madison Walker, 2 shots behind Amy Bilodeau for third, plays that on. If Amy Bilodeau can get this on the island green, she will secure third place. An amazing finish for her first Pro Tour event. It stays up. Amy Bilodeau secures third. Catrina Allen retrieves her disc. We'll be right back.
207 feet. If he puts this... And a massive celebration by Ricky Wysocki and everyone else out here. He has closed it out. Josh Anthon doing everything he could to try and track him down, and it just wasn't going to happen, Ricky. Ricky, you're done. You don't even have to putt out, buddy.
Oh, yeah, it feels weird not having to tap out, but I mean, I guess it's the best way to tap out.
From 207 feet, you already tapped out, pal.
Exactly. Circle Ricky, you really call it, right?
Circle Ricky. Big Josh Anthon
really, should he just be laying this up?
If he wants to secure a second, he should.
Josh Anthon could have laid up for a sole second. He, of course, does not do that. Makes another circle to putt. It's 100 degrees, and I have goosebumps, Steve. This group is going to play hole number 18, 5 strokes under par to finish out the tournament. Steve, they played at 5 under. Can you ask for anything more?
I can't imagine anything else. I love that Josh Anthon goes for it when the smart play is to putt, lay up. He was 5 for 7 from circle 2. This was an amazing finish. I've never seen a walk-off ace in my life. Terry, tell me what you thought of that.
Well, it had to happen. We were 3 rounds in, and no one had aced with Big Germ on the card.
That's true.
So it was really due, and there was a final hole to make it happen. Ricky wanted to close out the tournament. He didn't want to give Josh any chance. No rollaways or out-of-bounds shots, nothing else. Just circle Ricky from 207 feet.
Going onto the hole before we went live, you and I were saying, so Ricky just has to get it inbounds, or if it goes OB, Josh has a chance to get the birdie, and it's tied. Ricky got it inbounds.
We had plenty of excitement here today, of course. Anthony Barella, Dynamite Dana Vici, both coming in with great scores, trying to get a piece of the lead. They were there. At one point, we had a 5-person tie for first place. When it was all said and done, Ricky pulled it off.
Ricky's the man out here. If he is leading after the first round, he wins the tournament, and he wins this one in dramatic fashion.
Well, speaking of drama, the women aren't done.
That's
As
right.
you've seen, they are here. They've completed hole 18.
No.
Oh,
No, they
have not.
They have their putts.
So there's still action.
There's still action. We don't know if they go to a playoff or not.
Okay, well, they may or may not. Ricky wouldn't allow it. Let's see if the women do. It's been a great weekend out here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for all of the live action on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Of course, both Chad and Rick on the cameras, Gary to the O back at the controls, along with Johnny V. For Steve Dodge and myself, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, the walk-off ace by Wysocki. Let's see how the women finish out here at the 2017 Utah Open, presented by Latitude 64.
Catrina Allen confirms that her disc is indeed out of bounds. It is by less than a foot. Jessica Weese, 4 par, lining up like she's going to run this. Off the front cage, an amazing try by Jessica Weese. Catrina Allen for the win. Safe shot will push it to a playoff. And indeed, we are all knotted up through 18, through 54, and we are going to a playoff. The players confirm their scores with the UDisc scorekeeper.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a playoff for our FPO Championship at the 2017 Utah Open. The order will go holes 1, 2, 3, 15, 16, 17, 18, and we will repeat if necessary. So essentially, we are just going to stay on this side of the course. Catrina Allen will go first, and Jessica Weese will go second.
Thank you to Rob Bullen for the explanation and the call. He's been out there all weekend getting everything started for all of these players. Here's Catrina Allen on the first overtime hole. This is sudden death. Any player wins any hole outright, they are the champion. Catrina Allen with a huge shot on hole 1. Jessica Weese flattens it out, lets it hyzer left. Here is her second shot. I think that went much more left than she intended. It was a good roll. Here's Catrina Allen. If she can put this close, She could win this thing on the first hole. It's a very fast green on the backside. Laying it near the pin is very difficult. That fades off left. She's going to have about 40 or 50. Jessica Weese has to go up and down. She has to know that Catrina will definitely go up and down. This is a very critical shot. Executed to perfection. Catrina Allen for birdie. And the smart play is to lay it up, and Catrina Allen lays it up. We are going to be going to hole 2, assuming we can get these 5-foot putts. Sometimes nerves start getting the better of you. Jessica Weese puts in for par. Catrina Allen for par. And we are going to the second overtime hole. Hole 2 on this course. Catrina Allen on the tee. That is a huge crushing drive. We will have to wait to see if it is in bounds. It is indeed in bounds. Catrina Allen is right on circle 1's edge. Jessica Weese taking the other side. Just past the green. She is also safe. We have a couple of putts for birdie. You can see Catrina Allen's disc just to the right of the basket. She's about 30 feet out. Jessica Weese is about 45 feet out. This is for birdie. She hangs it just left. Everybody knows what that means. Catrina Allen for birdie and the Utah Open presented by Latitude 64 Championship is on the line. It was low out of her hand. She knew it the whole way. All she can do is sit and watch as Jessica will tap in for par. And we will be going to hole 3. Catrina Allen is clearly aggravated that she did not hit that putt. We're on the tee of hole 3. Catrina Allen on the tee. Probably laid that a little far to the right. It skips up, rolls down. That has gone out of bounds. The best she will be doing is a 3, and that is if she hits a 50-foot putt. Jessica Weese, if she can card a 3 on hole 3, she will be your Utah Open champion. She lays that out. Heiser's back nicely, a very safe shot. Jessica Weese knows that she has to just lay this seemingly routine shot near the pin. The nerves get going. These are not easy shots. Perfectly executed. She is 5 feet from the pin. Let's go to Catrina Allen, who's hoping that a blade of grass is underneath there. It would have to be a blade of grass that defines the earth. Catrina Allen for par to push this to the 4th hole. A great run by Catrina Allen, a great battle by these two champions. Today, though, Jessica Weese is your Utah Open champion. Thanks for watching.